I want to talk about something, if I can. It's called Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. Again, I don't know if I'm talked about this enough, but tax the rich is something I talk about all the time. It's essential. That needs to be hammered down by everybody as much as possible. Tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. But it feeds into something. Once we have the money, we need to fulfill the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Everybody needs to look at this, look at the image, Google it, and you will see the first level of the pyramid, and it's physiological needs: breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. And the second one is health, employment, property, family, and social ability. So, those first two are essentially what I'm talking about. Not even really the second one, but definitely the first one: breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. In America, the country, everybody needs to stop being like, well, how do we pay for this? And, earlier with the video of Tallarico versus the Jubilee video of Tallarico versus undecided Texas voters, that guy was like, well, blah, 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 welfare queens. I'm worried about giving it to people that don't need it and the waste, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of argument that we need to, just as a society, move past. All right? And we need to collectively, as a country and as a world, as a species, say, as a given, every person is just going to get food, water, clothing, shelter, electricity, healthcare, blah, 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 blah. These things, you're not going to need to pay for them. You're not going to need to anything for them. You just get them as part of the social contract for existing here. That's it. No more judgment or, oh, why aren't you working? Or no. You just get it. And we take that as an assumption and we build that in to the system. And everyone who says, well, how do we pay for that? We just take that person into the back and we beat them until they just accept that this is the new norm. We beat them bloody and then they go, okay, fine. I'm convinced this is how we do things now. Now, how do we get there? I don't know. Probably everybody needs to pick up a baseball bat and there we go. Go to the sports store and get some baseball bats, and we need to run out and do some convincing. Google where the gated communities are, and we need to beat some money out of these people. all these basic things, they're just a given. Because everybody needs the essentials. The essentials are no longer going to be, you have to pay for them. Somebody gets to make a profit off them. No. No, 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 no. Everybody just gets them. That's the world we need to live in. And there you are. Once we're there, then I don't give a shit. And people can start to make their profit off of whatever the fuck they want to sell you. Whatever useless piece of crap somebody wants to make an event, they can sell their garbage. But why do we even have this? We've got all the technology and stuff we need. I mean, you know, some videos are talking about crops are failing and everything. The only reason all this stuff is happening is because my nuts are sticking. It's because, you know, the market is undervaluing. The market is undervaluing it because of fucking what are they called? My mind's blanking on the word for it. Private equity and market consolidation. All these these monolithic things are buying up and consolidating. And then once they have that, they just drive everything up. So, artificial forces. And of course, you can't say the J word, but the J is playing money games with money. And, you know, not all of them have a specified ancestry in the Holy Land, but they sure act like it. So, anybody playing that kind of game, you know, it's just like, well, unnecessary profiteering. You know, and farmers going bankrupt is another bullshit. And farmers buying unnecessarily expensive farm implements, and on top of that, needing subscriptions for their equipment to either run the equipment or repair the equipment. That's another, I don't know, fucked up cost. Maybe unnecessary, I don't know. I'm not in the farming industry. The farming sector, I don't even like the idea of farming being called an industry. That's the wrong way to think of farming. Farming should not be thought of as an industry, by the way. It should be thought of as a passion. Society should think of farming as a passion, not an industry. Because if you think of it as an industry, then you think of food as an industry, and food is something that's a necessity, and that food should also, like the man said, food should be your medicine, and your medicine should be your food. It should be your frontline defense against illness. And if farming is an industry, how can food be your frontline defense against illness if farming is an industry? And if farming is an industry, that means farming is an economy. And if farming is an economy, that means farmers are being pushed to make a profit. And if farmers are being pushed to make a profit, how can you expect them to give everyone food, which is what needs to happen? Farmers need to be the food needs to be free. Farmers need to be held up as, in the same kind of I don't know, category or tier or whatever as doctors. If we want farmers to continue in their chosen trade, because I don't want to be a farmer. I don't want to live that life. I want to work on a farm. That sounds like the shittiest thing fucking ever. So I want them to be able to live their life. I want farmers and ranchers and all those people that do what they do. So, yeah. I think it's worth whatever society needs to pay in order to make sure that farmers can live whatever they need to live in order to provide the rest of the country with free food. Free, healthy food. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube, plenty of information on YouTube with ways of doing that without, by the way, without using as much chemical pesticides or any pesticides, whatever. I mean, I've seen a bunch today. So, I mean, yeah. I forgot where I started. Where I started with this. Oh, Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. Yeah, that's where I started with this. So, there we go. That's a society we need to. That's the starting point we need. We need to start there. Change the originating philosophy of our society, the foundation of the society that we live in, and build up from there. Instead of having the foundation of the society be I work for a living, I get money, and if I can pay for anything, that's good, and fuck everybody else. And maybe maybe I'll qualify for a government handout that might be there tomorrow. Maybe it won't be there tomorrow, based on the whims of an election that happens and the representatives that are now in office that change the laws and the budget, this turnout. No, the voting populace needs to have an entirely different way of thinking about organizing a society. Society based on the understanding that everybody needs to have the foundation of having the possibility to do what they want to do. And that doesn't mean, oh, I'm not talking about like, equal opportunity. What is the punchline? Equality of outcome versus equality of opportunity or some shit like that. It's like, yeah, we don't have equal opportunity and whatever. Rich people we do have different opportunities in this country. Everybody, every single individual person in the world has a different set of opportunities from the second they're born. So that bullshit line of, you're talking about equality of outcome or whatever the fuck it is, whatever that phrase is. You want everyone to have the same outcome. It's like, that's total bullshit. I just want everybody to have, without question, without judgment, what they need to exist. That's all. We have it now. We are not a subsistence species anymore. We have everything we need. Everything. There's plenty of housing. For 2 months, 3 months now, there's been an empty apartment here since that person was evicted. It's just been empty. How many places, how many apartments or houses are empty in the United States while we have the homeless population that we do? And if we just made a database of all the empty houses and apartments, and we said, here's where they are, the landlord can't sell it, can't rent it, go here and live here because it's not being used, you can just live there now. If we just did that, why didn't we just do that? Just say, well, your landlord isn't using it because nobody can rent it because nobody has any money. You know? Okay. Fair enough. You know, evens out. I don't know. People would be like, somebody undoubtedly will be like, well, then they won't be able to rent it out when someone wants to rent it out. So leave. Oh man, I got a big fart going on. And a lot of pilot programs have shown that if you give people housing, it's X percent easier for them to find a job. If you give people housing and give people SNAP, then it's much easier for them to, say, get off drugs. And then, oh, fuck. Excuse me. I got farts coming out. So all of these things. If you just hand these things out without maybe it's time to just try something radical. Like, I don't know, being kind and just saying, fine, here's everything you need. Why don't you try? Like for once, instead of giving all the billionaires billions of more dollars, why don't we try giving the bottom 20% of the American public billions of dollars and just seeing what happens? I mean, it's a radical thought. Why don't we just give everyone who makes $20,000 a year, why don't we just give everyone who's on minimum wage in the country $20,000 in a lump sum? Not $2,000, not a rent, not 1 month's rent, but like $20,000, $40,000, $50,000. Enough so that they can like pay off their car or something, so that they can get themselves completely out of something, some kind of big debt, or they can wipe away something and they can say, okay, I got this now. I got something to hold on to. And, or you can, as the federal government, with like $500 billion, like I said in other videos, you can hold a lottery with the bottom 25%, and you can give the money out to a few million people, just randomly. Like I said, it's time for some radical solutions that may fail badly, but that are fucking radical. And that do not involve giving money to rich people, because those are the only solutions we've had so far in the past 40 years, is give money to rich people in one form or another. That's always been the solution, is give money to rich people. Even SNAP is just give money to rich people. It looks like giving assistance to poor people, but all that money eventually flows up to the rich people, because who owns all the grocery stores? I don't own grocery stores. Do you? If you're rich, yeah, you do. So that government aid, really, it just goes to someone who's rich. All of those government programs, I don't even know why rich people want them cut, because it's just like government subsidies to rich people. Farm subsidies, that just goes to rich people too, because farmers use them to pay off all of their loans and all of their payments on their farm vehicles. And who owns banks and farm vehicle companies? Whatever they are, farmers can comment on all of these things. All of the money in these programs and these aid programs and these debt relief programs and these farm aid programs, all of this shit just eventually goes right back up to the rich people. It's just a way of disguising giving money to rich people. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been in the last 40 years. It's just a way of masking giving more money to rich people. And then on top of that, you give tax cuts to rich people. So fuck that. Tax rich people, kneecap them, and boobs.